She was the golden girl of Hollywood who captured the heart of the world's biggest pirate. But behind the angelic face lay a story of manipulation, violence, and lies. Amber Heard went from being an activist icon to the most hated woman in America. This is the story of how a Texas girl climbed to the very top, only to burn it all down in the most public trial of the century. Was she a victim or a villain? Let's dig into the scandalous life of Amber Heard. This is the story of how a Texas girl climbed to the very top, only to burn it all down in the most public trial of the century. Was she a victim or a villain? Let's dig into the scandalous life of Amber Heard. The story begins in Austin, Texas, where she was born into a strict conservative family. Her childhood wasn't about dolls. It was about breaking horses and shooting guns with her father. This unique upbringing forged a tough, almost masculine edge beneath her beauty. She navigated beauty pageants and Catholic school, but a rebellion was brewing. The tragic death of her best friend shattered her world, causing her to lose her faith in God and turn towards atheism. Stifled by Texas, she dropped out of school at 17 and fled to New York, then to Los Angeles, chasing the acting dream. She started small, appearing in music videos for Kenny Chesney, just another pretty face in the crowd. Her first taste of cinema came with Friday Night Lights, but she wanted more. She fought hard to be seen as a serious actress, not just eye candy. However, her early roles were just a warm-up for the real drama that would soon consume her life. Her breakout came with All the Boys Love Mandy Lane, where she became a scream queen. Never Back Down solidified her status as a youth icon. But the true turning point was the casting for The Rum Diary. This was where she first locked eyes with Johnny Depp. The chemistry on set was undeniable and dangerous. Rumors of a forbidden romance swirled immediately. She was the young siren entering the life of a superstar who was still in a long-term relationship. She became known as the woman who broke up Johnny Depp's family, the reason for his split with Vanessa Paradis. She had successfully seduced the world's most famous actor. Their romance was a whirlwind of passion and toxicity. In 2015, they sealed their fate with a dream wedding on his private island in the Bahamas. To the outside world, it looked like a fairy tale. She was living a life of private jets, island vacations, and unimaginable luxury. But darkness loomed. Behind the glamour, the marriage was a nightmare fueled by drugs, alcohol, and intense jealousy. The most horrific incident occurred in Australia. During a drug-fueled argument, a bottle was thrown, severing the tip of Johnny's finger. It was a bloody, chaotic scene that ended with messages scrawled on the mirrors in blood and paint. This wasn't just a bad marriage. It was a war zone. Amber claimed she was fighting the monster inside him, but evidence suggested otherwise. The allegations were disturbing. She claimed he kicked her in the back on a private plane. But the breaking point for Depp was bizarre and disgusting. He found human feces in their marital bed, a prank she blamed on their small dogs. This delivery marked the point of no return. The marriage crumbled after just 15 months. Amber filed for divorce, but she didn't go quietly. She wanted the world to know she was a victim, setting the stage for a massive public battle. She walked into court with a visible bruise on her face, demanding a restraining order. It was a media bomb that destroyed Depp's reputation instantly. She walked away with a $7 million divorce settlement, promising to donate it all to charity to prove she wasn't a gold digger. However, this would later be exposed as a lie. She used the terms pledged and donated interchangeably, but the charities never saw the full money. It was a calculated PR move. Before the ink was dry on the divorce, she began a stormy relationship with billionaire Elon Musk. Musk was reportedly infatuated with her, but even their relationship was described as toxic. Scandalous security footage emerged, showing her in a penthouse elevator with James Franco while she was still married to Depp. Rumors of a three-way affair involving Cara Delevingne also surfaced. Amber was moving from one high-profile man to another, leaving chaos in her wake. Despite the controversies, her career peaked. She landed the role of Mera in the blockbuster Aquaman, becoming a global star. She positioned herself as a champion for women's rights, becoming an ambassador for the ACLU and the UN. She was the face of L'Oreal, speaking at rallies about domestic violence. She carefully crafted an image of a brave survivor, using the Me Too movement as a shield and a sword. She was untouchable, or so she thought, as she plotted her next move. The final blow came with her Washington Post op-ed. She described herself as a public figure representing domestic abuse. Although she didn't name Johnny, the implication was clear. The industry reacted swiftly. Depp was fired from Pirates of the Caribbean, his career effectively over. She had destroyed an icon with a pen. But Johnny Depp wasn't going to go down without a fight. He launched a $50 million defamation lawsuit, determined to expose the truth. The legal war began in the UK, where Depp sued the Sun newspaper for calling him a wife-beater. It was a brutal trial, airing their dirty laundry. Surprisingly, the judge ruled against Depp, handing Amber a massive victory. She felt vindicated, believing her narrative was bulletproof. But the US trial in Virginia would be different. This time, there were cameras. The world would see every facial expression, every piece of evidence, and every lie would be scrutinized. The Virginia trial became a global spectacle. Millions tuned in daily. Viewers noticed something strange immediately. Amber seemed to be copying Johnny's outfits. If he wore a gray suit, she wore one the next day. It was a psychological game played in the courtroom. As the trial progressed, the tide began to turn. The cameras captured her smirk, her stares, and her inconsistencies. The internet was watching, and they were becoming an army of amateur detectives. Depp's lawyer, Camille Vasquez, became a star by cornering Amber. She dismantled Amber's stories piece by piece. One major blow to Amber's credibility was the Milani correction kit. Her lawyer held it up, claiming she used it to cover bruises. However, the makeup company publicly announced that the specific product wasn't even released until after the couple had split. It was a viral moment that shattered her defense and made the public question everything she said. When Amber took the stand, it felt like a bad performance. She would grimace and sob, but people noticed there were often no actual tears. Her testimony birthed endless memes, specifically the bizarre moment she recounted, "My dog stepped on a bee." Critics called it overacting. Supporters called it trauma. But the jury seemed unimpressed. The more she spoke, the less authentic she seemed. Her attempts to paint herself as the perfect victim were failing hard. The most damaging evidence was her own voice. Audio recordings played where she taunted Johnny, saying, "Tell the world, Johnny, that I, a man, am a victim of domestic violence." It was chilling. Further damaging her case, her former assistant testified against her, calling her a bully. Nurse notes revealed a history of drug use and instability, contradicting her sober image. Dr. Curry diagnosed her with borderline personality disorder, explaining her erratic behavior. Amber made a fatal mistake by mentioning Kate Moss, implying Depp pushed the model downstairs. This opened the door for Depp's team to call Moss as a witness. Kate denied the rumor via video link, destroying Amber's claim. After weeks of testimony, the jury reached a verdict. Amber Heard was found liable for defamation. The internet erupted. The Tatia's Justice for Johnny Depp movement celebrated as she was ordered to pay millions. The jury didn't believe her crocodile tears. The aftermath was brutal. She was ordered to pay a fortune she claimed she didn't have. In a post-trial interview, she doubled down, blaming social media and claiming she lost her right to free speech. Insurance companies refused to cover the damages, leaving her in a financial hole. She became a pariah in Hollywood. Her scenes in Aquaman 2 were reportedly cut down to nothing. The industry that once celebrated her had now completely turned its back on her. Needing to escape the hate, she made drastic changes. She welcomed a daughter, Una Page, via a surrogate, focusing on motherhood. She sold her beloved desert home in California to pay off debts and fled the country. America had become hostile territory. She sought refuge in Europe, eventually settling in Madrid, Spain. There, she tried to blend in, speaking Spanish and living a quiet life away from the paparazzi who had once documented her every glamorous move. Today, Amber Heard lives a life of exile, far from the Hollywood hills. She walks the streets of Madrid, a ghost of the superstar she almost became. Her legacy is no longer her movies, but the trial that exposed her darkest secrets. She remains a polarizing figure, a symbol of toxicity to some, a misunderstood woman to others. Her story serves as a cautionary tale of how quickly fame can turn into infamy when the truth finally comes out under the bright lights of court.